We are smack dab in the middle of Peacocktober, which is a 31-day celebration of no-cost horror movies and terrifying TV shows to liven up your Halloween festivities. And here to tell us more about it is Audrey. Audrey, tell us about Peacocktober.
Sorry, recovering from Gordon's props. So yes, Peacocktober. This calendar actually looks like a calendar, and that is on purpose because it is meant to show you that there are 31 days where you can watch different and amazing things all month long. So think of true crime originals from Peacock, like Toolbox Killer. There are franchises, like we've mentioned, Nightmare on Elm Street, Saw. For the people who like a little bit of scare, but not really. We have the Harry Potter franchise, so every Harry Potter movie, and Gremlins, which I didn't think is that scary, but some people might want to argue that Gremlins is scary. But there's 31 days of things to watch here, guys, and you'll see Halloween Kills is prominently featured because, as we've already discussed, it is going to be amazing. We're all so excited about it. And it's great. So it's a really easy way just to say Peacocktober, or you can say Peacock Calendar. If you're not sure what to watch, and just hop right into any of these. I would just like to plug my favorite in here, which is a Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. And if we roll a clip, we'll talk about it after.
The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them.
There's something out there, isn't there?
They're gonna kill me for sure.
Did you do it?
There was somebody else there.
He was locked in a room with a girl who went in alive and came out in a rubber bag.
No one knows where it came from or who it will visit next.
Nancy? There's something wrong with you. You're imagining things.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Do you believe in the boogeyman?
No.
So everyone, I'm sure you're aware, it's an American horror franchise written and directed by Wes Craven. It started in 1984 with the first Nightmare on Elm Street, based on the fictional character Freddy Krueger, who stalks teenagers in their dreams and kills them. So we all know that, but this is like a real fun fact show, guys, because I have some fun facts about Nightmare on Elm Street that as a fan, I didn't even know about some of them. So let me hit you very quickly with these. Freddy Krueger also appeared in the 2011 Mortal Kombat game. And I know David and Gordon are gamers. You guys knew about this? This is new to me.
Yes.
Okay. Next, New Line Cinema was saved from bankruptcy by the success of these films. Heather Langenkamp, who plays Nancy, beat out 200 actresses for the role, including Jennifer Grey, Demi Moore, and Courtney Cox.
Wow.
Because they really wanted somebody who was more unknown. So good for her. And one of the main reasons Johnny Depp was cast as Glenn was because Wes Craven's daughter thought he was dreamy, as did we all.
Not wrong.
Not wrong. So yes, I will contend that Nightmare on Elm Street is the best horror franchise. Freddy Krueger is both hilarious and slightly terrifying, I guess. I just find him to be more funny than scary, but I know Rose is shaking in her boots over there. So Nightmare on Elm Street, watch them all.
I agree with you that it's one of the most terrifying franchises because first time I watched it, that was the first time I pulled an all-nighter because I was so scared to fall asleep when I was like, I don't know, 10 or 11 years old. I disagree that he's like funny, but maybe if I watch it now, it'd be funny, but I'm like, we'll see.
My favorite thing about Nightmare on Elm Street is that Freddy became almost like an anti-hero as it went on, is he, because he was cutting quips and being hilarious and all these creative ways of getting rid of teenagers. And then they killed him off and they called it a day. And Wes Craven is like, look, I'm not going to bring Freddy Krueger back ever unless somebody comes to me with a brilliant idea. And somebody did. I don't know if it was him or who, but New Nightmare is the first one that comes after the original series. And it's a return to form. It's probably the scariest of them all. So like Nightmare on Elm Street has seen a lot of different iterations and some of them have been really, really good.
Yeah, and we talked about Halloween Kills and the amazing kills in that movie. I mean, A Nightmare on Elm Street kind of like, in a way, like innovated unique ways to kill off victims in the movie. And I think one of the things I love about that franchise is the use of practical effects, especially in the early movies. Things that you don't see so often now in the days of computer-generated effects. But there's, I think in Dream Warriors, there's a kill where someone's like pulled into a TV that's like, hey, like just some of the ways that they off the teenagers are really, really amazing. And you're like, how did they do that? But it's all puppetry and wires, and it's just really so incredible. So if you want to, like, kids, if you want to go back and see how they did movies back in our day, check out
Adults,
the Friday
if you want to go back. People old enough to watch these, if you want to go back. Maybe not for kids.
No. Should I talk about my pick for Peacocktober?
You should.
Yeah, I'll do that. My pick is the Peacock original series, The Girl in the Woods. Let's take a quick look at that.
Who are you?
You must never tell a soul. Deep in the woods stands a lone door. My colony and all of our practices exist entirely to protect the world from the awful things beyond that door. They worry that the wrong person could learn about this door and let all those awful things go free.
Carrie, what's behind the door?
Nightmares. Your worst nightmares.
So this series is based on the 2018 short film, The Door in the Woods, and the 2020 short film sequel, The Girl in the Woods. And it follows a young woman named Carrie Ecker, who is tasked with guarding a mysterious door within her cult-like colony, which is, of course, deep in the woods. And what is behind the door, and why does it threaten to destroy the entire world? Only Carrie and her friends know and have what it takes to protect humanity from the monsters beyond the threshold. But is Carrie a monster herself? Only one way to find out, when The Girl in the Woods premieres October 21st. I love the whole vibe. It's like Hannah, the Amazon Prime series movie, meets Monsters, basically, where she's like this badass killer who has to protect the world. I'm really excited for it.
I gotta tell you guys are doing a good job this episode. Normally, I'm just like, what am I gonna say? How am I gonna shine? But like, all of your guys' picks have been like really solid. Like Ordinary Joe, Snoop, this sounds really good. David did a really good job selling it. Kudos, team.
Thank you.
Whoa, what a compliment.
I know.
Dang it, Gordon.
We have to make a list.
My publicist really earning his pay tonight.
You can Venmo me that 20 when you get a chance.
You got it.
How am I going to live up to that? Because it's my turn to go, right?
It is. You're up, Rose. Yeah.
Rose.
Dang it, Gordon. Setting the bar
Sorry.
so high, but I'll try. So I chose One of Us is Lying. Let's take a look and we'll talk about it.
Your obsession with other people's lives is pathetic.
Nobody at the school would get called out for anything if it weren't for me.
Simon?
Detective Wheeler has a couple questions.
Wasn't it an accident?
They think one of us did it.
Without Simon, you get to be valedictorian.
You're accusing me now.
I know that.
I don't know you. We need to work together now.
And why should we trust you?
Everybody here hated him. But who also hated us?
We often have to make our ooh face. Ooh.
Ooh. So my pick isn't like super scary or super jump scary, but it starts out with some Gossip Girl vibes, and then it takes an I Know What You Did Last Summer, the original, turn. There aren't jump scares, like I said, but it's a high school whodunit where a group of teenagers go into detention, and all of them but one come out alive. And
Dun, dun,
everybody
dun.
that was in dun dun dun, cue the music. But everyone can be listed as a suspect because everyone has a secret to hide that the person could be, I don't know, accused maybe. I don't know if I'm doing this justice, but Audrey and I were talking about while you guys were watching the clip that she's really into this. Audrey, what are your thoughts?
I am. I watched the first 3 episodes and I agree. It has like some Gossip Girl vibes because, they're in school, they're text messaging. You mentioned this all goes down in detention. So there's like a little dusting a Breakfast Club in there. So all of those things speak to me very much. But it's really good. The characters, it evolves. Like you think you don't really love someone, or you think maybe that they did it, and then you are surprised and you end up liking them and you don't think they did it. So I have no idea where this is going. Like I said, I watched the first 3, and I know that there is at least 1 to 3 more available now. But I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I have no idea who is lying, because they're all lying really about everything. So it's hard to tell which one is lying about the important thing.
They do a really good job of keeping you invested in the whodunit. And I should have mentioned earlier, this is also based on a book. And I love things that are based on a book, because you know it's that good that they're going to turn it into a series or a movie.
Now, they're all lying, so that title itself is a lie.
Oh,
yeah.
So maybe
Inception.
We're meant to be a part of the suspect and one of us, and we're the us. We're the one that's lying. Is that what you're saying?
We're the us.
Since this is very similar to, since this has Breakfast Club vibes, do you think the person lying will become a serial killer?
Oh no, guys, it was going so well. So well.
I knew Rose would laugh.
So good. Gordon's had it. He's had it. He's
come back. You lost.
Now we're gonna get a Blockbuster award. Not even Teen Choice. We're moving down the list. Gordon, bring us home with save us.
I felt so bad about the Michael Myers and the Goonies thing. I don't even care. All right. Audrey did a fantastic job with this calendar. I love it. But I have a bone to pick with you, because Gremlins is scary. All right? That's my pick. And let's take a look.
Probably the most important thing, don't ever feed him after midnight.
Billy, what are these things?
Gremlins. How come a cute little guy like this can turn into 1,000 ugly monsters? That was Mrs. Deagle.
I'll bet every kid in America would like to have one. They might even replace the dog as the family pet.
I mean, they had me at the beginning because they were so cute.
They are cute. Now, if you're like me, you probably have memories of this. And you're like, oh, Gizmo's cute and it's Christmas and all that. Do not watch this with your children without remembering the scene where Billy's mom gets attacked by the gremlins in the kitchen. It is legitimately terrifying, okay? So, the reason I picked Gremlins and Gremlins 2: The New Batch is because it's such a weird / fascinating little duo of movies. Because the first one, like I said, it is dark. You have Phoebe Cates and her story about her dad. You have, homicidal gremlins running everywhere. It is dark and creepy and scary, Audrey. And then Gremlins 2: The New Batch is like a comedy almost. It's silly. There's like slapstick humor. There's a gremlin that becomes a lightning bolt. There's a gremlin that becomes a bat. Like, it's just silly and fun. And they even poke fun at the first one. The second movie is almost a parody of the first movie. So if you want something creepy, give Gremlins a shot. If you want something fun and creepy, give Gremlins 2 a shot. Gremlins 2: The New Batch.
Something for everyone.
There's so many amazing characters in the second one. You've got like the intellectual, he has like the gremlin who has like his own like cable access show, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, who's like got the pipe and the glasses. And then there's, of course, Greta Gremlin, who has the big pink scarf and the lipstick. I actually saw someone on Twitter picking a bone with us, the editorial team, for including Gremlins as a Halloween movie, saying that it's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie, but it can
go in both
creepy
camps. I feel this.
I don't disagree with that assessment.
Yeah.
Well, Gremlins is an all-time classic.
We agree with you too. So
it can be two things. It's like Nightmare Before Christmas. It can be both Christmas and Halloween.
There you go.
So,
and Harry Potter, just saying.
we want to remind you to participate in the poll with your voice remote. What horror franchise do you want us to do a deep dive on in 2 weeks when we're back for a Halloween show? Is it Halloween? Is it Saw? Is it Friday the 13th? Or is it Child's Play? Vote now. I actually one time, fun fact, I interviewed the guy who plays the Jigsaw Killer. And his name is escaping my mind right now. But he was he called me. I can't remember his name. I should not have told this story without remembering his name.
I'll look it up for you. You tell the story. I'll look up his name.
Well, Tobin Bell. I got it. Tobin Bell. So he called me. It was a phone interview. He called me on his phone, and I was like, "Hello," and he goes, "Hello, this is Tobin Bell ringing you." Like it was just so very formal. He was the first person I ever heard use the word bailiwick in a conversation. He's like, these movies weren't in my. He's not, but he's like Fraser Crane, where he's not British, but he seems very like refined and very, I don't know, well-to-do. Like he should be wearing a monocle and an ascot or something. Yeah.
He would use words like dapper and dashing.
Bumper sheet.
Yeah, and actually, the fun thing about Tobin Bell is like you don't realize how many things he's been in like over the years. Like he was in an episode of Seinfeld. Like I see him pop up in like old sitcoms. And I'm like,
I have to see his face now.
That's the Jigsaw Killer.
Yeah. Well, before we leave the poll, just a reminder, whatever you choose, David will watch consecutively without sleeping, eating, or using the restroom. So take that into account, because those Friday the 13th movies, that's a good 26, 27 hours. But that's the level of commitment David has to this project. So take that into account when you make your vote.
So it's just David and nobody else, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
that's not Audrey. You guys take your time.
Not what I signed up for.
I want you well rested. But David, 26 straight hours.
I mean, I'm ready for it. So keep voting. It looks like, what do we even have in the lead? We have Halloween in the lead, of course. All 13 movies, and Friday the 13th is closely behind. Child's Play, 25%. It's so close. It's only. Well, that's not only 2 movies. It's so much.
That's a lot.
So
yeah,
keep voting throughout the show. We'll be back a little bit later with more voting, and you can check out the full Peacocktober calendar and watch guide by saying Peacock calendar into your voice remote. It's 31 days, but catch up. If I'm going to binge all these movies, you can get through 31 days of horror franchise in 16 days. So let's do it together.